In the winter of 2019, while Germany's capital, Berlin, was bustling with life, something unusual was happening behind the scenes. Julian Miller, an American investigative journalist working in Europe, had received a classified tip from an anonymous source about a complex money laundering network spanning multiple countries, linking prominent figures in politics and business. Known for his bravery and determination to dive into the riskiest of cases, Julian had no idea that this mission would lead him into the depths of a very dangerous game. Julian received a brown envelope at a famous cafe in Berlin. Inside were documents containing the names of shell companies, suspicious bank accounts, and a photo of a man named Markus Wiener, a Swiss businessman known for his strong ties with politicians. The name was not unfamiliar to Julian. It had appeared in several international reports regarding suspicious activities, but Markus had never been convicted due to his immense influence. At the end of the documents was a handwritten note that read, "Follow Markus. He will lead you to the top." Julian immediately began his investigation. He rented a small apartment in a quiet Berlin neighborhood, turning it into his base of operations. Over time, he started gathering intelligence on Markus' movements and connections. After days of surveillance, Julian noticed that Markus regularly held meetings at a luxury hotel, where he hosted mysterious figures, some from Eastern Europe. Julian managed to plant a small camera in one of the hotel's meeting rooms, capturing a conversation between Markus and a Russian man named Ivan, a businessman linked to organized crime groups. In the recording, the two men discussed an incoming shipment containing the goods, a code often used to refer to illegal money or items. The shipment was scheduled to arrive at the port of Hamburg within a week. Recognizing this as a golden opportunity to expose the network, Julian decided to head to Hamburg. In Hamburg, Julian disguised himself as a dock worker to gain direct access to information. After days of observation, he identified a suspicious container bearing the number mentioned in the conversation. However, things did not go smoothly. While attempting to infiltrate the container, Julian was spotted by two armed men guarding the area. He barely managed to escape, but the incident confirmed that whatever was inside the container was far more dangerous than he had initially imagined. With the pressure mounting, Julian turned to his former colleague, Sophie, a data analyst with advanced hacking skills. Thanks to her expertise, the two managed to hack into Markus' network, discovering that the goods were not just money but also classified government documents and advanced technological equipment being sold on the black market. This information alone was enough to spark an international scandal. As the stakes rose, Markus began to sense the danger. He sent his men to track down Julian, leading to a tense chase through the streets of Berlin. One night, as Julian was returning to his apartment, he was ambushed. Thanks to Sophie's quick intervention, he managed to escape to a safe location. Meanwhile, Julian and Sophie decided that their next move would be to hand over the evidence to Interpol. However, before they could do so, they were kidnapped. They were held captive in an abandoned factory on the outskirts of the city, where they came face to face with Markus himself. Markus tried to negotiate with Julian, offering him a large sum of money in exchange for his silence. Julian, however, refused, stating firmly that his principles were not for sale. Using her ingenuity, Sophie manipulated the factory's surveillance cameras to send signals to the police. After hours of tense waiting, the police stormed the factory, arresting Markus and his men. The documents Julian and Sophie had obtained were enough to convict the entire network. Following these events, Julian became an international hero in the field of investigative journalism. Still, he knew that this wasn't the end, as Markus and his associates wouldn't forget what had happened. Sitting in his new apartment in London, Julian stared out at the city from his window, wondering about the next story that would lead him into another confrontation with darkness.